the Lost Planet Airmen. That's got to be one of the greatest names for a band ever right there. And the Guess Who here on 102.3 WHTL on this Wednesday. It is 11 o'clock. We're in Whitehall, Wisconsin. And you know what? It's time for Open House with Hanson Realty Group.
It's time for the open house on WHTL.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent?
You're joking, right? I don't joke about real estate.
With the Hanson Real Estate Group.
I never understood why people are so afraid to eat at an open house.
I know. The open house starts right now.
And it's Wednesday. That means open house here with Hanson Realty Group, and I get to welcome Josh Baecker into the studio. Hey, Josh, how are you?
I'm not too bad. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing pretty good. So my first question for you, are you sleeping through the night yet with that new little one at home?
She's actually pretty good. So
really?
Yeah, we've been doing pretty well that way.
So you're pretty fortunate that way.
We are. She's been very good.
All my kids were that way too. They were pretty decent about sleeping through the night, so it was pretty easy. Some folks have a hard time though, I know.
The first one was not as easy, so this one is much easier than the first.
Well, there you go, and congratulations to you, and it's awesome. Hanson Realty Group, of course, you guys are the experts right over there outside of, between Independence and Arcadia, but you work a whole big area. You've got a number of different people all over the western part of Wisconsin, don't you?
Oh, yeah. We have different agents, too, that cover a northern range as well, going all the way up north to Rice Lake and even more north of that. Taylor, Bryce's son, is out of Milwaukee. He has a lot of listings down that way. So otherwise, we cover most of west central Wisconsin here.
I tell you what, if you've got any property you want to list or sell, or you're thinking about auctioning off some land or a home, they're the people to contact. They can get you covered pretty quickly. But today you want to talk about maintaining your home and keeping its value. And why is that important?
Well, maintenance is important with anything in ownership, whether it's a car, your house, land, anything you own. Side-by-sides, people like to buy those nowadays. There's maintenance with everything. Oil changes, things go bad, things wear out. Nothing lasts forever. So, and especially you see this a lot when people come to sell their house and they've kind of neglected a few things. So, naturally people think, I bought my house for $100,000 5 years ago. The market's gone up since. It should be worth more. Well, it works that way most of the time, but sometimes if you neglect enough things or too many things, it can actually drive the value of your property down. So,
okay,
I get life gets busy, but there's just some things to try and keep in mind and try and keep up with as you're owning your home.
So, preventive maintenance and making sure that everything is working and everything up to date can pay some big dividends in the long run.
Yep, correct. And, if you want to fix more things, then, if something's wearing out and it's not worn out yet, you can replace it, and it can add value if you keep updating things before they go bad.
So if you've got that shag carpet in the bathroom, go ahead and get rid of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Modernizing is good as well, so.
I bet there are people who still have shag carpet in their bathrooms. I bet there are.
Oh, there are.
Oh, I can't imagine. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the things that are common that people should do to maintain and keep their house at top value.
All right. There are some bigger things, obviously, that you should probably even budget for. And I guess these aren't things you could do some maintenance on these things, but they just go bad and it's just things to budget for. And they are bigger dollar amount items, such as your roof, siding, windows. When it comes to your furnace and central air, those are things you can maintain and should maintain every year. Just have them looked at, cleaned out, make sure everything's okay. Your furnace or your central air, want to make sure that hose, your drain hose, condensation hose, is not plugged. Right. A lot of times that'll plug up, and then you'll see water marks running down your furnace, and if water gets in there, it can ruin your circuit boards, things of that nature. Just that's another thing you can do to avoid any problems in the future. Well and septic, if you live in the country, there's not a whole lot of stuff you can do, but your septic system, be cautious of what you're flushing down there. I always like to throw down one of those septic packets every couple months, just to keep the bugs healthy in your septic tank. Just something you can do to prohibit clogging your baffles and filters and down the road.
And I think the smart thing, like you said, is to be careful of what you're putting down there. Yeah, because
Yep.
Flushable diapers doesn't work.
Yep. And
Yeah.
there are a lot of things that aren't flushable. Kleenex, don't put down there, and other kinds of wipes. And just, when you have young kids, you can keep an eye on them the best you can. But
Stuffed animals don't work either.
yep, they can, wrappers and whatnot, toys, they can get clogged in the drain. But if it does make it out, like wrappers and stuff that won't break down, they'll get to your septic system and then clog up your filter, and then you'll have a backup into the house, and you got to pull the top off and clean it off. That's something you can do yourself.
Sure.
It's not a fun job.
No, not a fun job at all. And there are some other things that I know you've got listed here that make perfect sense that you may not necessarily think about as adding value, but making sure the lights and the outlets are all working.
Yep. And it's like anything, you kind of get something goes out, you don't have time to fix it. By the time you get time to fix it, you're kind of used to it. So you just work around it. You got an outlet that doesn't work, well, you just use the other one that's over here. And it can snowball from there. You got a light switch that doesn't work on this side, well, on the other side of the living room, it still works. So we just use that one. Just trying to stay up to date on those cleaning common areas, like light switches are a big one. And the handles on your cabinet, your cupboards. Just they can get a lot of wear and tear, and just kind of that black ring that goes around them. So it's just, when you're looking to list your house and show it to people, those are things I always recommend cleaning, because it just gives it a better appearance. Flooring stuff wears out. Like, kids are hard on things, so I live this, and pets too are hard on flooring as well. So
Some adults are too.
that is true.
That's my wife.
True.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not. No, that's all right. We won't talk about that.
You didn't vacuum through the carpet, did you, Mark?
Yeah, I do vacuum.
Cleaning too often?
Yeah.
Wear it out?
No, not quite. Not that often.
But, you get a spot on the floor, you just kind of live with it. But when you
Sure.
go to list and show it to buyers, it's just, like when you're looking to buy a new car, you're looking at any negative thing to take off the price. So buyers look to do the same thing to your house. So,
Here's one that I hadn't thought about, and it makes perfect sense, and it's something I know we probably need to do too, and that's the duct cleaning, having your ducts blown out.
it is. If you've ever seen it done, and you haven't done yours for a while, you're going to be amazed what they take out of there.
I can
Especially
imagine.
if you have pets. The hair just kind of accumulates in there. But
Sure.
even without pets, you'd be amazed at how much dust just goes and stays in your duct
And the
system.
allergens and everything
Yep.
else.
And then every time, your central air in summer and your heat in winter, you're constantly blowing and circulating air out of your vents, and it's blowing that stuff out of there as well. So
And you don't really think about that either.
a lot of people don't. Yeah, I think we cleaned ours a couple years ago, and it was, and your dryer vent as well is
That's-
another one they'll do that.
That's another one.
So those are things that kind of get forgotten about, and it does make a difference. If anyone has their ductworks clean, they're probably do it again after seeing it the first time.
I would imagine. Now, one thing that you've got on here too, and I know this is really important, especially in the summertime or in the spring or fall when you're going to list a home, and that's that curb appeal.
Yep.
What does it look like when you drive up to the property? Because often that's your first impression, and like the old saying goes, you only got one chance to make a first impression.
Yep, it's a big one. That's one of the most important things I always like to tell people is that first impression. And so just keeping the lawn mowed and yard maintenance is a good thing as well. And mowing the grass is one thing, but weed whacking and trimming and keeping up around the house and around other, if you got sheds or garages,
Sure.
it's just good to keep the weeds down from there, because you could have a perfectly mowed yard, but if you got weeds growing up everywhere else, it takes away from that.
Takes away from it.
So
Now, if people are looking to list a property, and they are going to list a property, I would think that one of the benefits of using a realty group like Hanson Realty, you can come in and do kind of a quick evaluation and help them fix or say, hey, these are some things you might want to take care of to get top dollar.
Yep, and that's something we definitely go over with every pre-listing appointment. A lot of people like to have us come and just take a look, give them a opinion of value, and then a lot of sellers ask, is there anything we can do to help? So that we, if we see things, we'll tell them, and then they'll usually take a little time to fix them before we put it on the market, because you don't really want to put it on the market beforehand, because you want to be able to hit the ground running.
Now, you've got some properties that are pretty attractive here, and one of them, you've got an open house coming up a week from Friday, and that's in Blair.
Yep, just a new listing I have is going to be sold at online only auction. So it's a small home in Blair. You got a big lot, a double lot with a back shed. So it's just a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. About 660 square feet. It's been an investment property for the last several years now. You could either buy it, fix it up a little bit for yourself, or it's a big lot. So if somebody wants to remove the house and build a bigger new home, it's a nice quiet street and a great location. So it's good for somebody who wants to build a home or looking to get into the investment rental world. It'd be a good one for that as well.
Now, that's an online auction property only, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And if you want to check that out, you can go to the website, and it's easy to become part of that website so that you can bid on auction too. It'll work you right through it.
Yep, it's easy. You just click register, your name, address, phone number, email address, credit card, and then you're registered, and it'll save all that so that you can bid on any other auctions, whether it's real estate or our personal property auctions. It'll save that information, then you just register to bid for each auction.
And you've got a property up in Wamedy, I see, as well.
Yep, right in Wamedy, 4-bedroom, 1-bath, listed at $92,000. We currently have a lot of activity on that, so if you are interested, I would waste no time. I still do have those Cherrywood listings too in Independence. It's 4 homes, 2 3-bedrooms and 2 2-bedroom, 2-bath homes. So the 3 bedrooms are listed for $269,900, and the 2-bedroom homes are listed for $264,900.
Those are really good locations too.
They are. It's a great location, and they're all a little bit different. So it's they're in the development, built by the same people, but they're all different. So we don't have 4 houses in a row identical. So they wanted to keep them unique.
Well, by all means, go to the website and check out these properties. They'll all be on there. We probably have them on our Facebook feed here as well, so you can check them out. But hregroup.com. And when does the auction for that property in Blair come to an end?
It'll close on the 22nd. I believe that's Tuesday, October 22nd. It'll start closing at 6 p.m.
Okay, and the open house is a week from Friday. Make sure you go check that out. I'm sure you'll be there for that.
Yep, that'll be 3 to 5 on the 11th.
All right. Josh, if people want to contact you, what's the best way to do that?
My cell number, 715-533-4114. You can call or text. Otherwise, if you want to email me as well, josh@hregroup.com is my email.
There you go. Josh Baecker, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it, and some really good information. Make sure you do keep your property, your home, everything up to date, or your property looking good, because that can pay some big dividends. A little preventive maintenance can make you money in the long run.
Yeah, it can make you money or cost you money if you don't do it. So
there you go. Good advice. Thank you. Josh Baecker with Hanson Realty Group. Who's in next week? Do you know?
Jacob's in next week, and then I'm up again the week after that. So.
They're going to double you up, huh?
They are. Jackie was nice enough to switch with me one Wednesday. I couldn't make it work, so.
There you go. We'll be talking to Jacob Lalamont then next week, and open house every Wednesday here on WHTL, brought to you by Hanson Real Estate Group. Thank you. Appreciate it, Josh.
Thank you, Mark.